Welcome back to the Hero Whispers. Hello, listeners. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. We are so excited tonight. We have an amazing young woman, model Mickey Abernathy. And we go way back. But before we start to talk to Mickey, I just want to give you guys a heads up if you're new to the show about what we're doing with the Hero Whispers. It's part of Supergirls, which is a platform I created to inspire and empower college women to launch from college to life. So what does that mean? Helping them with the tools they need to navigate the real world, whether it be career clarity, networking, money management, time management, personal branding, all those things, mentorship. And we use our podcast to hear their stories and let them share their voice about what they're doing in the world so that we can better help them. So it's an amazing journey, super fun. I want to let you know that in February, we're launching a group coaching program, and it's perfect timing for seniors that are getting ready to launch their wings. So it's a great program if people are in their senior year and they're not feeling ready and they need a little help with some of the things we just talked about, like career coaching or personal branding. It's all about that. So if you know anyone like that, please spread the love. And now it's time to meet Mickey. So excited that she's here tonight. Mickey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me just give you a little bio on Mickey Abernathy. Mickey Abernathy is a 21-year-old born and raised New Yorker. She is currently finishing her last year at Fordham University, studying communications and media. She is navigating her way through her studies while balancing modeling and being an executive assistant in fashion. By choosing to stay in New York City for college, Mickey purposefully took a non-traditional route for her education by focusing her weekdays on career-oriented endeavors by condensing her schedule to as few days as possible in order to progress in the work field. Amazing. After walking in New York Fashion Week, interning in an art gallery, and working at a major beauty company, she is using her last year to figure out what comes next. I don't know if there's anything else left, Mickey. You basically done it all. Oh my God. New York Fashion Week. That is insane. Congratulations on all these things.
Thank you.
Was it? Oh my God. You are so welcome. I mean, I love the fact that you took a non-traditional route. It's very brave, even though you were born and raised in New York, which is another thing we're going to get to in a few minutes. But it's very brave to just go out there and do these, especially these careers. They're like a lot of dog, really hard, competitive fields at a young age. You know, it really must have given you an edge. So first, let's talk about New York Fashion Week. I'm like blown away by that. Like, how did you make that happen?
Oh my gosh, so sweet. Well, I definitely have my agency to thank for that. With New York Fashion Week, walking those shows is completely set up by your agency and the castings that you get. So to backtrack a little bit, during my first year at Fordham, I signed with an agency, and for about a year, I was kind of in limbo with being in between two categories of the industry. I feel like everybody's always placed me right in between commercial and high fashion, which are two opposite parts of the industry. So finally, my second year of being signed with them, I had the opportunity to attend just a few castings, of just a few opportunities to walk in some shows. And somehow I ended up booking the majority of those castings, which was crazy. But it was completely insane. And the highlight of, I feel like, my entire career. I'm so grateful to have been able to do that. And I'll remember, I have some crazy stories from my time for that week and a half. It's been insane.
We could probably just spend the whole time talking about that, but maybe we'll have you back. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to have you back on the show if you're willing, and we'll talk all about that, because I think people would love to hear those stories if you could share them.
Oh my gosh, there's some crazy ones.
What? I'm just curious, because I had a career in fashion too, and I'm not in modeling, but on the other side, but I'm wondering what lines you got to wear.
Oh, I was sent out for quite a few things, but the shows I ended up booking a high-end, a designer based in LA who designs different gowns. I've done bridal. I've done a lot of Australian-based brands, just kind of a selection of everything.
Oh, the Australian thing is really interesting. Mark, listeners, just so you know, Mickey and Mark went to school together, my son, so it's really kind of cool that she's on the show. But yeah, he spent a semester in Sydney, so that's really interesting.
So cool.
Yeah. Did you
I've
actually
always
go?
wanted to go.
Oh, you haven't been yet. You just were booked up with the fashion, but you haven't actually been there yet.
Yes, correct.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So more on that to come, New York Fashion Week. But let's talk about what it's like to be born and raised in New York City, because so many women graduate and they want to come to New York. I should say women and men, but this is all about girls. So, want to come to New York, and you're, a native. So what is it like to be born and raised in New York? And does it feel like you can go anywhere else after that, or you have to be in New York? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I get this all the time. I would say at least 2 or 3 times a week when I'm talking to different people. They can't even believe that I was born here and the incredible opportunity that comes with it. But it's truly the best blessing ever, and I'm so in love with the city and very fortunate to have been raised here. I feel like it's always hectic, super busy 24/7, but it truly is full of opportunities. My brother and sister, it's funny because my brother and sister, and as you know, a lot of the kids who I went to high school with, I feel like so many people leave the city for various reasons, but pretty much to kind of get away and experience something different. I feel like I could never see myself leaving the city, at least for an extended period of time, just because being raised with the best of the best, I just going everywhere else, it seems the pace I could just never adjust to. Everywhere else, it's a lot slower in the world, and I love being busy constantly. So it's crazy being raised in New York, and I don't think I'll ever leave.
I love it. A girl after my own heart. I know it's really hard because I have left, and you think it's going to be so interesting, and it is. It's interesting, but it's like, oh my God, I want exactly that, the energy and the pace. It's very different everywhere else, and you get used to that.
Something that people always laugh at when they say is when I go visit my brother when he used to live in South Carolina for a bit, I always get so confused because I'm falling asleep to the sound of crickets and stuff. And it's always so funny because what I fall asleep to is the sound of cars and ambulances going by and traffic and car honking. And that's what I love.
I know, me too. It doesn't keep me awake at all. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so you took this non-traditional path, and how did you figure that out? And what made you choose that? What inspired you?
So I never really had an interest in the traditional college experience. A lot of girls, I feel like, leave high school ready to be a part of a sorority and live on a huge campus. I never cared much for that, but instead I was super excited about working both in modeling and doing as much internship experience as I could get. So I signed with an agency in freshman year, but I also interned consistently during my summers and sometimes during the school year. So I chose a non-traditional route because I was ready to dive right into my passions. I wanted to stay busy and get ahead. I've been blessed with so many opportunities, but I've always put a lot of pressure on myself to not waste that. I couldn't imagine going away for 4 years, to party and have a typical college experience when there's so much more potential. I know that that's not always the case when you leave for college, but I have too many friends who just took it as an opportunity to relax and be social 100% of the time, and that's just never been me.
And so how did you know that you like the whole fashion and modeling thing? Did that come at a young age, or did you did someone say to you, I think you should join this field? How did that all come to fruition?
Well, I have always been one of the tallest girls in my grade growing up. I'm just about 5'11" and a little bit more than that. So all throughout high school, I was constantly getting scattered. I went to school downtown, so that's where a lot of the fashion people work. And I feel like after school, walking to school on the weekends, I would consistently have people come up to me asking if that's something that I'd be interested in. And my heart was 100% in sports at the time. I was still figuring out if I wanted to pursue basketball in college or not. But I had no interest in it really during high school, but I knew my last year of high school that I 100% wanted to at least try it out, which is why I ended up staying in the city. But I feel like it was something that, it was an opportunity that was given to me probably because I was in such an amazing city. I don't know if that's what I would have wanted to do if I was not in New York. So it's interesting to see the different opportunities that come based on where you live. But yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, absolutely true. You know, like you think, what would my life be like if, but it doesn't. It's what it is. So
Exactly.
You just made the most of the situation. So good for you.
Thank you.
So, okay, so let's talk about the dream to be a model, since, you know, it's so many women's and girls like aspire to that, or, you know, into influencers and celebrity and all that. So like you follow this dream and you signed with an agency. How hard was that to do?
First of all, it's so much harder than people think it is. I hear a lot of people tell me in general that I just feel like there's a positive association with modeling and there's a negative association with it. I feel like people don't realize how much work it really is, both physically and mentally. I mean, especially being a college student who really prides themselves with their work and their grades, it's a hard industry because you're not booking jobs based on how capable you are of the job. It's 100% based on your looks. So it's definitely a tough industry, but I feel like if you do well, it's very fun. If you're not doing well, it can be a disaster. So it's what you make of it and what else you have going on for yourself. And I feel like in this day and age, there's so much more than just being a model. I feel like online and with Instagram and everything, I feel like it's a whole new world of opportunities. But the modeling route specifically has been an opportunity that I never in a million years would have thought would have happened, but has been very interesting to experience.
Well, it sounds like you have a really good attitude about it, and you're very balanced, and you're keeping everything in perspective. It sounds like your approach is very mature. I mean, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. I just mean it's very, you know, the way you're thinking about it. I mean, you're thinking about it like a business, and the fact that it is all about looks is like almost it in a business sense. I mean, it's not really rejection because, like you said, like it's not a personal thing. They're looking for a specific look. And like, if you have to have the confidence in yourself to know that and be okay with that. It's just like acting. I mean, it's the same thing with actors. A lot of times they're looking for a specific look, and it doesn't matter how good you are. You know, you're brunette and they want a blonde or whatever. And so that is like a key part, I think. And it sounds like you have a really, really strong sense of self and self-esteem, which is something that I see a lot with these women that I work with. They don't necessarily feel confidence, and without the confidence, they're so talented, but they just need a little bit of confidence to help push them, you know. And it sounds like you really have that. So what's your secret sauce with that?
I feel like I owe my entire world to an amazing team that is behind me. I've switched agencies a few times and had some issues getting signed for a bit, but I've had the most amazing manager I could have ever asked